Welcome to the Saved Show. This is your host, Justin Minger. This is an audio journal that I will update regularly. We'll cover things like faith, family, the latest topic on the news, pop culture, movies, you name it, we're going to cover it. All through the eyes of a Christian father, veteran, and someone who's trying to figure this out. If you want to support the show, please go check out thesaved.store. We have some things on sale over there. Also, if you don't want to use money to support the show, please do share the episodes on all social media. If you find something interesting, let us know. Share it with those around you. It's the best way you can support us. Put on those headphones, kick back and relax. Remember, you are saved. Hello. I think this is up and running. Perfect. Took a very long break from the show, like a month. But we're back, and we are going to try to figure out how to do a video podcast. So bear with me as we figure this out the first couple times. I think I'll be able to work some magic and ask for help where applicable. But we should be back. Back to once a month. I think 3 times a week is not sustainable for me. Dad of 2, still working a full-time job, still trying to get this up and running. Sometimes I like to exercise. Just a busy life. But in the past month, let's see, there's a mysterious fever through the house, both kids. We went to Wisconsin on a family trip. Otherwise, I think we're just living life, taking the kids to the park, getting outside as often as possible. I myself am training for another 5K. I had been running, and then I just decided to do one the next day. So decided to do it on Friday. I went and ran it on Saturday. And ultimately, my goal was to be less than 27 minutes, I think, for the 3.2 miles. So that's a little bit faster than a 9-minute mile pace. And I was able to pull off, I think, 24 minutes and 30 seconds. So that felt good. So I was local here in my town. Next month, I have another one. So that first one will be sort of a time trial. Just like a standard, I guess I would call it, not a time trial, but new standard for where I should be. Can readjust that goal. 27 minutes seems to be doable. 24:30 was what I did. Hopefully in the next month I can get a little faster. With that, there is a fundraising page, Head for the Cure. So it's about brain cancer and getting some funds to the fight against brain cancer. So I picked a small fundraising goal. I'll make sure that link is available somewhere. It's $100. So I, made my contribution, and then I would ask everyone else if they can. I know times are tough, so not a big deal. But if we can, this is the 5K that I'm doing next month. It's called Head for the Cure. It's a 5K run walk. It's July 24th, so just about a month away. I have a $100 fundraising goal, and that goes to the fight against brain cancer. Cutting-edge research is needed as we continue to make strides in this fight. So that's where the funds go for research. So if you can, I'd appreciate it. I'll get that up somewhere. That's all personal things. I think that's what's going on. In the world, still crazy, obviously. But yesterday, the Dobbs court case, I went to the Supreme Court. The court made a decision. They overruled Roe v. Wade. So good things there. To celebrate that, I did make a new shirt. It's called Life Day. I think henceforth, June 24th should be called Life Day. Without Roe v. Wade in place anymore, just think of all the lives that will be saved. I think in the past 50 years since the decision, or 49, since the decision was made erroneously, I believe it is in the tens of millions of abortions that have been that have happened. So that's tens of millions of lives that have been lost, and we have put a stop to it. I know that there were some states with trigger laws that outright banned it immediately. I don't recall the stipulation in my state, um, but hopefully this is just a small victory, and over time we just get rid of it outright. To that end, the verse that's been on my mind a lot is from Psalms 139, 13 through 14. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Each and every one of us is an image bearer of God. We were made in His image, and that starts, right at conception. There's really no logical or reasonable um, line in the sand you can draw between conception and birth. If we say 20 weeks, then I can make an argument that a week before that, there's not really too much difference, so why don't we make it 19 weeks? And then you and I can play that game until we get back to zero. And I know there are things like heartbeat bills and stuff like that, but the definition of life, I don't believe, includes a heartbeat. Like two-celled organisms, one-celled organisms are still alive. Let's see. Wikipedia has a very drawn out definition. How about dictionary.com? We'll figure it out here, folks. Condition that distinguishes organisms from inorganic objects and dead organisms, being manifested by growth through metabolism, reproduction, and the power of adaptation to environment through changes originating internally. Sounds to me like right at conception, it would be considered life, and that's when life begins. So that's where I stand. Happy to have a discussion with someone on it. I think I mentioned a Bible verse. Obviously, this is kind of a faith-based show. There you go. God wins and the flag in the background. But I think to have discussions with people in the real world, if you want to call it that, and not just myself with a camera, you need to draw on authorities to which people apply to their life, if that makes any sense. People could have a conversation with me and say, this is in the Bible. How do you feel about that? Why don't you live your life a certain way? You live in the United States. You live according to your Constitution. Things like that would work for me. But with other people, you live in Australia. What's the Constitution over there? They place authority in that document, whatever it is. I don't even know if they have a Constitution. But you get my point. If you're speaking with someone who is secular, pagan, Muslim, anything else, the authority to which they derive purpose and the plot for their life is not the same. So you shouldn't lead with a biblical argument. The biblical argument makes sense to me as a believer, but when you're conversing with people, if they're not on the same page, you might just be proving their point, given how some people feel about the decision. So you could just look at the Supreme Court's decision, read it in its entirety if you'd like. It's 213 pages. At least that's what I had found yesterday. I wonder if there's a condensed version. Anyways, find the decision, read it for yourself. I'm sure it might have an abstract or someone's put one out there. And you can go through the court's argument for the overruling of Roe v. Wade. And when you're having that type of a discussion, you can leave out the Bible. Not saying that you should, but you might have a more productive conversation with someone if you just go over what exactly happened yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And what that means moving forward if you're dealing with someone who doesn't share your faith. So you can tell them that the court decided Roe v. Wade was decided erroneously. There is no, in fact, right to an abortion in the Constitution. You need an amendment for that, and I don't hear anybody making that argument. So what does this do now? It allows the states to make the decision. Each state can make their own rules regarding abortion. Like I said, some people and places already had trigger laws in place, so abortion's been banned outright, which is great. The rest of the states we need to work on, obviously. But that is the extent of what happened yesterday. The court decided this was wrongly decided. We're getting rid of it, and now the decision remains with the states. And you can move to wherever you want to live based on how you feel. Some might call that a republic. The day before, there was a decision about the Second Amendment in New York, and some people, I've seen some back and forth on the Supreme Court making one decision one day and one decision the next. I think the difference being anything regarding the Second Amendment is actually an amendment, just for argument's sake, that the Second Amendment stipulates the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I know that's not the whole thing, but bear with me. So, right to bear arms cannot be infringed, shall not be infringed. Whereas yesterday with a abortion decision, there's nothing in the Constitution, no amendment, no nothing that explicitly states abortion. So I feel like there's a difference there. We all have the right to bear arms, but that's based on the Constitution, the Second Amendment. There's nothing in there that says anything about an abortion. So, a couple of quick thoughts. Update on life. The abortion thing's been big the last 24 hours. I think in my own ramblings, maybe you might feel a little bit more prepared to have the discussion with people. Touching my face. It's my first time on video. So, this is what my face looks like. If you aren't a friend and someone listening from afar, hello. Operating out of my basement. This is my office as well. This is my You Are Saved hat that I got from the saved.store, which is our website. This flag also comes from there. The shirt is from BC Limited, a veteran-owned company. I've had this for a few years. And that's it. It's Saturday, so we're going to go have some fun. But we will be operating from a video podcast standpoint moving forward. If you have any questions, you can submit those. I think I can set up a function for like voice messages from people, which is cool. Leave one of those if you want, or we've got all of our social media sites are up and running. So yeah, I think that's pretty good first video blog, sitting right at 12 minutes, right where we need to be. These don't need to be drawn out. Any topics of discussion, please shoot them our way. Otherwise, we'll just keep rocking and rolling with this thing. Probably going to be a Friday or Saturday, once a week deal. I'm going to get this uploaded since I now know how to do that with some editing and some magic. And you will soon be listening to this through the airwaves, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Anchor app. Yeah, it's good to be back. It's nice. I think this will work out. This video thing anyways. We got it figured out. Got a couple screens for searching things as they come up, and I've got this device recording. So it's going to be fun. And with that, I will leave you. If you don't recall, because it's been too long, that's my fault. But our tagline here is, you are saved, and you are saved through Christ. Be well, everyone. Praise God, honor Him, and live virtuously. Goodbye.